Hi. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything, and this isn't the same place I'd make videos in, but now that I've got some things squared away, I thought I might try something new. So here we are doing that. I'm sorry I left so suddenly. Not that I really owe anyone an apology, but I was in a bad place, but I've got that figured out now, and I'm just looking forward to what's to come, you know. So I promise that if I ever have to go away again, not that I really would, I'll let you guys know. So we'll see how that goes. Today's video is gonna be about something I didn't really have to research on, just because it's my own personal experiences. Weird things about my local park. I don't know if this is like universal. Maybe everyone has a local park that's a little weird to them. Something's a little off about it, but you know, who knows? I thought I'd share about my local park, and I can't really share the name of it because it's private. Obviously, I don't want to leak my address to online people, but I can set the stage for you by reading off something I wrote. That's what I'm gonna do. It's not a park in the traditional sense. There aren't any slides or swing sets. It's more of a forest than anything, though it isn't considered a national park. Officially speaking, it's a historical park with a few landmarks, old towers, cabins, and the like. With some of these structures being nearly 200 years old, landscaping work or building isn't really permitted. It's lawless land, save for the main road that cuts through its center. Lawnmowers keep the sides of the road and openings of the main trails trimmed and clean, but deeper within, the park is kind of left to grow uninhibited. The trails that lead into the body of the park are ill-kept. They're made of gravel and dirt, and they're overgrown with brush on either side. A large population of deer roam here, oftentimes wild and bold enough to peer at people in plain sight of the main road. The trees buzz with cicadas in the summers, and the grounds litter with thick mats of leaves in the winter. Back in the 80s, it was a pretty popular place to camp, I've heard. They say the old campsite lots here are, you know, still somewhere in there at the ends of some of the trails that zigzag through the park, but they're overgrown now, disused at least. That's what they say. But sometimes there will still be small spires of smoke that branch out into the sky, coming from where those old campsites would be. Everyone seems to stay in their cars here too. No one ventures into the park. No one walks on the trails. It's almost as if there's an unspoken rule: stay on the main road here. So, obviously, you could probably explain away everything I feel is weird about the park, but even if it's not any one thing that's alarming about it, it's still enough to, you know, make me think about it, make me speculate. My friend Jason, he's very much so been speculating about it too. So I think probably the most obvious thing that's weird about the park is the fact that nobody really seems to use it. Like I said, everyone's on their cars just cutting through the main road. You can see the entrances to some of the trails along the main road, but I've never seen anyone walking there, even in the summers, you know, when it's like a really pleasant day outside. There's also like a field area towards the edge of the park that has like picnic tables. I think they were installed in like the 90s maybe. They're so old and grimy. That kind of explains why no one uses them, but also it's kind of like over a shaded area, so in theory it would be a really nice place to just sit and have a picnic with your kids or something, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. I've never seen anyone use those tables, so that's something I find a little odd. But I do think there are some people who tend to the park because there's a lot of roadkill on the side of the road. That's just kind of natural with a huge main road that cuts through a foresty kind of area. There are raccoons, possums, sometimes deer even, that'll just be like dead on the side of the road because they got hit by a car. And they don't seem to really stay there for long. Like, I was driving to the store one time. I drive there a lot. I cut through the main road to get to the grocery store and work and whatnot. And there was like a deer on the side of the road. And I took like an hour, maybe. It couldn't have been more than an hour to go to the store. And when I was on my way back, going through that same road, the deer was gone. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how the park rangers would even spot a deer that quickly and get it out of the way so quickly. Maybe it's what keeps people using the road though, because I feel like with all that roadkill, the smell of it would really drive people away. You roll your windows down, you can smell it. It's awful. I feel like I've smelled it more than I've actually seen roadkill, so it could very well be that people are just tossing the roadkill like just out of sight, just into the forest. That would make sense, actually. Maybe I shouldn't be commending these park rangers because they're not actually doing that great of a job. But that does remind me of one other thing. This might be a bit of a weirder observation to make, but whatever. My friend Jason, he used to go out into the park a lot, and he's told me he's found a lot of animal bones there. I've gone to his house. I've seen his little collection he's got going on. He's got a lot of them, and he's said he's gotten them all mostly from the park. All sorts of animal bones, raccoon, deer, usual roadkill kinds of stuff. Something that's maybe especially odd about that though is he's found them in a lot of different conditions. Like he's found older bones, really yellowed ones, really dirty ones that are like maybe they were stuck in the dirt and he kind of had to dig them up a little. He's also found like cleaner ones, whiter ones, like sun bleached, I guess that's how they get so white. Also burnt ones, like really weird stuff. There was one kind of weirder thing he found there, a tooth, actually. He was near the campsites. He was just fucking around, I don't know, doing whatever he does in there, looking for bones. And he found a molar. And he thought it was a deer molar at first, but he was telling me it didn't have those like black bands the deer molars tend to have, the older ones at least. So he was telling me at first he thought it was like a really young deer that it was from, like the back molar there. But then when he brought it home, he showed it to his mom, and she freaked the fuck out. She called the police, and they came and they took the tooth and they asked him about where he found it, and they never said it was human, but they never gave it back. So, I feel like you can read between the lines there a little bit. So he doesn't really go out in the park anymore. He's superstitious as hell, but also I can't really blame him for that. It's pretty weird. Now, there are a few like theories and rumors and legends about this place that we've figured out that might explain some of the weirdness. So I feel like it wouldn't be fair of me not to mention them. So I think one is about like connection with religious activity. By religious activity, I don't mean anything crazy. I mean, I'm in the Bible Belt. There's a lot of churches, and I know a lot of churches have like Bible camp, where they'll take kids out to go camping and talk to God or something. I don't even know. So one of our theories is that it's just kind of connected to that, since the park used to be a popular camping site back in the 80s. Maybe some of the churches just have like special permits or clearance to still camp out there. I would certainly explain the smoke I see every now and again. It's usually in the summer too. So it makes sense. I've seen it in the winter before, but who knows? Winter camping might be in. Beats me. Another rumor I've kind of heard, it's not really a rumor. I think it's just a fact that I haven't really been able to confirm myself, but I'm pretty sure there's a cemetery somewhere in the park that's kind of abandoned or disused or whatever. I'd imagine it's probably like Civil War era, like the cabins and stuff that are towards the main road and stuff. So I don't think it's anything too huge, but it is a spooky abandoned graveyard somewhere in the middle of the forest. The last rumor I know, and this is really heavy on the rumor part, it's probably bullshit, is that, maybe like 20 years ago, someone like my age maybe went missing in the park. Like they just went into the forest and never came out. That's what I've heard at least. I don't believe that one so much. I mean, I'm not as superstitious or paranoid about stuff as Jason is. Sorry if you're watching this, Jason, but I just don't really believe it so much. I feel like where I live, people going missing, it's probably more common than it usually would be, but I also feel like it's kind of a more nuanced issue than people make it out to be, because, like, kids run away from home, some kids don't have a very good home environment, so they might be compelled to, like, run away from home, and their parents who just can't fathom why their kid would do that, they'll report them as missing. That's just one example. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of other reasons someone would quote unquote go missing. So I feel like it's a very nuanced issue, and I feel like, I probably first heard that when I was a kid. So it was probably just like some kind of cautionary tale about, ooh, don't go in the woods alone or you might go missing. That's really all I know about that. I don't put a lot of weight into it. It's weird, sure, but I don't know. It does kind of tie into a larger line of thought for me, I guess, though, because here in the South, I feel like rumor and people talking to each other, gossip or whatever, it tends to stretch a very long way here, and oftentimes, something that starts out really simple among like two people can really become something way bigger than it is, in the hands of like a crowd of people, maybe. I don't know. It's hard for me personally to put weight into any of this, to separate what's fact from what's fiction, because go figure, I have a vaguely religious background, I was kind of raised in it, and I have the like most vague memory of going to some kind of summer camp situation in a forest or whatever, with my local church at the time. So I kind of weirdly feel like that summer camp was in that park, but like I also can't really know for sure. I don't really think it lines up timeline-wise either, so it's vague and confusing, and it probably means nothing. So it doesn't even matter. I think there is something to be said about the superstition of it all. I mean, if you're like going out into a place like that and you're looking for the weird things, you're really squinting, you're looking between the lines to read and pick up on things, like, of course you're gonna find something to interpret to like fit what you're thinking. Like, confirmation bias is just kind of inevitable. Humans, we're flawed creatures. We're always gonna get paranoid. We're always gonna get superstitious or something, and if we go looking in the darkness for something, we're gonna find something. We're gonna feel like something's looking back if we really feel like we want it to. I think it's true that we're biased creatures at heart, and that can't really be helped. And we shouldn't really blame ourselves for it either. It's just human nature. That's all I've really got to say about that. And if you've enjoyed listening to me ramble for however many minutes, I'm glad to hear that. Hoping I can continue doing this, continue getting better at it, because I really do want to try something new, leave the past in the past, So here's to that. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.